take this for what it is worth, but Bob Nightengale recently once again called the Braves one of the favorites, along with the Baltimore Orioles, to land all-star, ace, White Sox ace, Dylan Cease. Now, these MLB insiders have swung and missed so much this offseason that it's really hard to take them for their word. But I do think one, trend, one common theme among all these reports is that the Braves do have interest. And it makes too much sense when you consider they're probably not going to be on any of these top of the line free agents that remain. And so if they're going to go out there and get a frontline starter, it's going to happen through trade. And Dylan Cease, given his contract number is only supposed to be around $8 million this year and maybe a little bit more, multiple years of control from Milton, Georgia. We've talked extensively about the whole Scott Boras thing, but they have time to get an extension done, and he's from Braves country. So it feels like there's a little more of a possibility than maybe with somebody else. I mean, we've seen what they were able to do with Murphy and Matt Olson. But when you say favorites, I just want to clear up one thing. I still don't think this is anywhere close to a 50-50 shot, as I've said many times. I just think it might be closer to 10 or 15% chance. And then the next team probably has a 12 or 13% chance. So yes, they're going to be up there. They're going to be considered. It depends what they're willing to give up. But favorite still does not mean that they are more likely to land him than not. I would say it's more likely that he doesn't even get traded because the White Sox don't have to move him if they don't get the deal that they want. But I do expect them to be in on this, and hopefully they see it to the end, because I think it would be, like I said, this is my favorite option of all of them this offseason.
I think you'd be a fool to not think this is the favorite option. The Dodgers acquiring Glasnow, certainly you would think it takes them out of the running for somebody like Dylan Cease. Whether that's true or not, maybe the Dodgers are really going all in and just shipping out the whole farm. But one would think that the acquisition of Glasnow takes them out of the running for Cease. And that was certainly one of the Braves' stiffest competitions in the race for Cease, because they have a need and they have a much more, talent-rich farm system than the Braves currently have. And the Orioles do too. So I think that, the whole, notion that this could potentially be 50-50 between the Braves and the Orioles is way too rich. Because like you said, I think it could be 50-50 he's even traded. So let's just say 50% he's not traded. You got to split that up among 3, 4, 5 teams who are, have bids in for his services. So again, if I had to put a number on it, like you said, I'd say around 10-15%. And the rest of the clubs are around, from 5 to 12. That's what I would put it at.
Yeah, and I think the Dodgers being out of the Cease negotiations is probably overblown as well. I think if they don't get Yamamoto, obviously they're one of the finalists for them, that they could totally pivot to Dylan Cease, because they still have plenty of prospects to make a trade. They still have more prospects than the Braves. So I think assuming that the Dodgers are out of the Dylan Cease sweepstakes, maybe right now they're not currently involved as much because they're focused on Yamamoto. But once that domino of Yamamoto falls, we could easily see the Dodgers really make a push for Dylan Cease, who they've already had negotiations with earlier in the offseason. So I think that's overblown. And I think calling the Braves favorites is rich. It's rich is what I would say. I think they're in there. I think they're monitoring the situation. I think they probably exchanged potential prospects that could interest them. I still think the Braves might be hesitant to give up A.J. Smith-Shawver and Hurston Waldrop. But if they want to get a deal done, they're going to have to part ways with one, if not both of them. So that's just the nature of the beast. They're going to have to do that. So it's kind of like, what do you feel? But I think calling them favorites is a bit rich for my blood. But hey, that gets the clicks going, and that's what they've been doing all offseason. Coming up after the break, the Braves did complete one trade. We are going to discuss it.